That's my interior decorator.
How about a crystal chandelier?
Just rearrange the rocks. Enough to show Starkist my good taste.
Charlie, Starkist don't want tunas with good taste. They want tunas that taste good.
Here's Starkist. Show him the chandelier.
Sorry, Charlie, but only the best-tasting tuna get to be Starkist. It's 100% prime filet.
It is the best-tasting tuna.
For the best-tasting tuna, get Starkist.
Tell him Charlie sent you.
There is truth in advertising, yes I swear. Got new Nikes on my feet and Vidal Sassoon in my hair. I can sure use a Budweiser Fruit of the Loom underwear. There is truth in advertising, I swear. Why would they lie to me when they love what they sell? Plus we all know that the liars have a special fire in hell. On the television, radio, and in the magazines, the advertising gods perpetuate the American dream. Advertising, let it be, let it be. Now I know that I don't need to buy everything they try to sell me, but so easily divided is a fool and his money. There is truth in advertising, let it be. Why would they lie to me when they love what they sell? Plus we all know that the liars got a special fire in hell. On the television, radio, and in the magazines, the advertising gods perpetuate American.
Sometimes a mascot doesn't have to be famously recognized throughout multiple generations in order to have been famous. Their cultural impact, even if only relegated to a singular generation, is still cultural impact regardless of the longevity. Needless to say, I bring this up because, at this point in the show, I feel like that's where we're reaching now. A lot of the heavy-hitter mascots have been covered, and we're starting to have to dip back into the bag of obscurity a bit more. That doesn't make these mascots not famous, it just means they probably aren't as remembered as others might have been. That being said, I'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't know Charlie the Tuna. Considered the spokes tuna for the Starkist brand, he was created in 1961 by Tom Rogers of the Leo Burnett Agency, and is technically seen as one of the most recognized characters in American advertising. Based on Rogers' friend Henry Nemo, a more appropriate last name for inspiration I can't imagine, he was voiced by actor Herschel Bernardi and depicted as a hipster. Originally, he was a lower-class beatnik with a generic Brooklyn accent, wearing a beret and thick glasses, convinced that his hip, cultured, good taste made him a perfect catch for Starkist. But he was always rejected. Now, before we go any further, I feel like I need to point out just how creepy this concept actually is. This is an anthropomorphized mascot who's not just endorsing the brand, he wants to be a part of it. He wants to be caught, filleted, and stuffed into a can. Charlie is fairly suicidal, to be honest. No other mascot in history, as far as I can remember, has so eagerly attempted to be sold as the very thing they're advertising. The Trix Rabbit, for example, wants the cereal. He doesn't want to be the cereal. Charlie, however, seems to bask in the glow of the concept of being killed and eaten. It's just fucking weird is all I'm getting at. Nemo, by the way, is known as the creator of jive, which is basically loose-lipped slang which Charlie used frequently. So it wasn't like he was based on anybody's random friend. This was actually an important person in the context of culture. Also, a weird little side note, but Charlie was animated by the DePatie Frayling Studios, co-owned by Fritz Frayling, and employing Chuck Jones for a period of time. Just an interesting little footnote in the history of his lifespan. Charlie's big claim to fame, though, the thing that really catapulted him from simple mascot to advertising icon and pop culture mainstay, was his catchphrase. Charlie would attempt to be captured by fishermen, only to be rejected time and time again with someone saying to him, "Sorry, Charlie," which became a ubiquitous phrase in the annals of pop culture. In fact, it entered the American lexicon in 1962, and April 6th has been designated as Sorry Charlie Day. Charlie would go on to appear in more than 85 advertisements for StarKist until 1989, when the campaign was abruptly retired. And while, perhaps, he never reached quite the same heights as other food mascots, he was still very popular for his time, constantly being referenced in other pieces of media. For example, Los Angeles radio personality and voiceover artist Charlie Tuna, real name Art Ferguson, chose his on-air name early in his career upon the departure of yet another Oklahoma City disc jockey. See, all the jockeys at KOMA were told to draw their names out of a hat, and by the time Chuck Riley picked his, every name had been drawn except Charlie Tuna. He then proceeded to use the name for a week before leaving the station. Whether the name had any influence on his decision to depart remains to be seen. His replacement, however, the aforementioned Ferguson, inherited the name in his absence and would keep it even upon relocating first to Boston and later Los Angeles. In 1968, a hand-carved statue was erected in Charlestown, Oregon, as the mascot of the town, and promptly became a popular roadside attraction. I think, if memory serves, he's the only other mascot we've covered next to the Jolly Green Giant who has his own statue. In 2004, he was made part of the Advertising Week Walk of Fame on New York City's Madison Avenue. Charlie was a mascot very of his time, but at that time, he was huge. Tom Rogers, Charlie's creator, wasn't just a one-hit wonder either. He wound up creating a handful of memorable mascots, including the Keebler Elves and Morris the Cat, who was the mascot for the 9 Lives cat food ads. One of the interesting things about Charlie, and perhaps why he was so endearing, was because Rogers, in an almost unheard-of turn of events, had complete creative control. How he looked, how he sounded, and even what he said about the product, which no company would give you the right to do today. Sadly, in 2005, Rogers passed away at the age of 87 at his son's home in Charlottesville. Ironically, Rogers drowned while swimming alone in the family's backyard pool. So, Charlie himself, a fish, wants to be eaten by the consumers of the very product he's advertising, and his creator drowns in a pool. There's a beautiful kind of circular irony to all of this in a way. Charlie eventually made a comeback in 1999 when StarKist revived him to help introduce a line of products marketed as healthy. He has remained on as the mascot ever since, even if only on packaging, and his presence on television is virtually non-existent. Charlie exists in that weird gray area of mascot fame where he's known, but mostly to a specific generation and only at a specific time. It doesn't invalidate his legacy by any means, but it also means he isn't as famous as other defunct mascots, such as the California Raisins, for example. Still, Charlie is an icon, and he deserves the recognition, even if he's now mostly relegated to static imagery on packaging above any other medium. And sure, Charlie doesn't have any kind of wild story, and I'm sure the most bizarre thing about him is perhaps his creator's unusually ironic death, but his advertising catchphrase did make it into the lexicon, and that's more than a lot of lesser-known mascots get. Plus, as we said, he did get his own statue. All things considered, Charlie made his mark on the advertising world, then was retired, and that alone is what makes him eligible for this show. Besides, all Charlie wanted, in the end, was for others to consume him, to bring them some kind of joy by eating delicious, nutritious food. That's more than we can say for our next food-based mascot, who did the exact fucking opposite.
Why do more flyers in the West agree on United?
Sure beats traveling on my tuna boat, doesn't it, Charlie?
I don't know, boss. I ain't never been on your tuna boat.
You know, Charlie, nobody flies up and down the West Coast like United.
That's right, Charlie, including the most non-stops to Los Angeles.
Even I can remember that.
I'm really hooked on United.
Boss.
Sorry, Charlie.
We've got the West united. Fly the friendly sky.